Mortgage rates are already painfully high, but if Trump follows through on this next move, whew, they might skyrocket. He's seriously considering privatizing Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. These are the two institutions that keep your mortgage rates from kind of spinning out of control. If this goes through, I think it could wreck affordability, push homeownership further out of reach, and it just might shake up the whole housing ecosystem. And here's the scariest part. Most buyers have no idea what this means and no clue it's even coming. My name's Justin Lopatin. I've been in the mortgage business for 20 years, and I've helped over 5,000 homebuyers purchase, invest, and refinance, all while making smart decisions. I'm breaking this down because I want you to know how this could impact you if you're buying, selling, investing, refinancing, or if you're just watching rates trying to time the market. In this video, you're gonna learn exactly what privatizing Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac actually mean. I'm gonna talk about how this could impact mortgage rates and why it might push them higher, who loses, who benefits, and who should be watching out, what the experts are predicting, the experts, if this moves forward. And by the way, I don't think I'm an expert. I'm just very experienced. There's a difference. And how to protect yourself if the market shifts again. So what do Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac actually do? And no, I'm not talking about Fannie Mae chocolates. Those are pretty good though. Fannie and Freddie are government-backed institutions that support the secondary mortgage market, which means after you close on a home loan, it gets transferred. That's the secondary market. It's like outer space. People talk about it, but I don't know how many people really understand what's going on back there. They buy mortgages from lenders, package them up into securities, and then they guarantee those loans, which means they back and insure them in case they default. This government guarantee lowers the risk for investors because investors, big Wall Street companies, purchase those loans and they make money off the interest. And that government guarantee lowers the interest rates. Fannie and Freddie actually back about 70% of all mortgages throughout the US. And they've been under government conservatorship since 2008, right after they get bailed out after the housing crisis. And since then, they've paid over $300 billion in dividends, way more than covering the cost of bailing them out after the housing crisis. So what's changing now, and why is this all over the headlines? So here's what Trump said. On Truth Social, Trump said he's giving very serious consideration to bringing Fannie and Freddie public. It means taking them out of government conservatorship, removing that implicit government guarantee, meaning the government covers the loan in case it defaults, and allowing them to operate fully in the private market, but it also means there's a lot more risk. So who are all the key players involved in a decision like this? You got the Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, Commerce Secretary, Howard Lutnick, FHFA Director, William Pulte, and of course, there's always a billionaire investor involved. This one's Bill Ackman. He's been lobbying for privatization for years, and trust me, he's going to benefit financially if this happens. But why does it matter to you and me, the everyday buyer? Well, it might impact mortgage rates, which means it could be more expensive to buy that next home. The chief economist at Realtor.com, Danielle Hale, said it's likely that mortgage rates would move higher if this happens. Why? Well, without the government backstop, the guarantee in case loans default, the risk is higher, which means investors who buy mortgages after they close and their package up are going to want a higher premium. That means they want to make more money, which means that interest rates need to be higher to pay those investors more money, which means interest rates are going to be higher for the home buyer. The way it currently stands, the government backing gives investors more security, which means they'll accept a lower premium, which means mortgage rates are lower for us. Kind of. And this directly contradicts Trump's campaign promise to get rates lower, back down to close to 3%, he says. Probably not possible. So here's the reality. Interest rates are already hovering near 7% today. So it's likely this will either keep them there or make them higher. So who wins if privatization happens and who's at risk? Well, the beneficiaries are shareholders of Fannie and Freddie, specifically that one billionaire investor, Bill Ackman. Then you got large institutions who want free reign over their mortgage profits. And of course, Wall Street. There'll be more competition and less federal oversight when it comes to all the mortgage compliance. So who's going to lose in this situation? First-time homebuyers, low credit and low income homebuyers, and pretty much everyone who's depending upon a low interest rate to buy a home because affordability might be drastically impacted. This could literally reshape the entire mortgage industry. I'm not kidding. Rates could rise, guidelines could change. This could really throw a curveball in the housing market, which is already challenging for most Americans. And that could impact home prices. Home prices could drop and correct a lot in certain markets. So what are the odds of this happening and how fast could it actually go into play? Well, here's the deal. It's still speculation, but it could happen. So there really isn't an exact timeline. And any big decision like this is going to include Congress and the FHFA, which is the Federal Housing and Finance Agency. They're a big part of making decisions in all these rules. But Trump says the decision is likely to occur in the near future. I don't know what that means. So let's talk strategy for buyers that are thinking of getting in the game in 2025. If you're in the market now, it might make sense to lock in a rate as soon as you can, which is typically when you go under contract. But you got to be careful and you got to watch for the market volatility. A great mortgage lender can help you time your rate lock and really think this through with some expert guidance. Talk to mortgage lenders that have different options. Sometimes the retail banks have a really small box. Mortgage lenders that have options can talk to different banks and provide you with different loan programs to consider. And just make sure you got your budget dialed in. Plan for the worst. This push to privatize Fannie and Freddie isn't new, but it's gaining a lot of steam and traction because there's always money on the other side of decisions like this. So if it happens, mortgage rates could rise, lending guidelines could change, and it could impact housing affordability and the way that we adapt in this market. You just got to be aware. So if you're in the market right now to buy or refinance, just make sure you have the right team, a great mortgage lender with experience and a good realtor so they can help you make a decision with data, because you don't want to get caught off guard. I've been in the mortgage business for 20 years. If you want to run numbers, put a strategy in place, or just discuss the situation, reach out. I'd be happy to help you think it through.